let's discuss the core strategy for tackling the writing test. I'm going to be demonstrating this when we go through tests 2 through 4. So in those test solution videos, I will be modeling this approach directly, but let's at least get the basic strategy out of the way. So first thing you should do is start reading the passage. And when you then get to the first box, remember these little boxes scattered throughout the passage with numbers in them. So when you get to the first box, which would be box 1, / underlined portion, which is going to be associated with a box, finish the sentence. Once you've done that, you can, if you want, go right to the question. And if it's a grammar question and you feel you have enough information, answer it. Keeping in mind, of course, the context of the whole sentence, not just looking at that little portion in isolation. If it seems to be a rhetorical skills question, you might try answering it, but be ready to go back to the paragraph or even to the passage as a whole, because as we'll talk about when we go through the rhetorical skills questions, you need to pay attention to things like, is this choice on topic? Is it consistent with the paragraph's flow? So you might have to read, typically what I'll do is I'll read a sentence or two after the underlined portion, making sure as well to remember what happened before the underlined portion, just to get that context. As always, read what you need. If you need to read more, go ahead. As we'll talk about, if you need to skip and come back, that's also fine. But make sure you read as much as you need to answer the question. When you're going through the choices, focus on eliminating wrong answers as much as finding the right one. So get rid of choices that don't work, and that can help you narrow down to the correct one. And this is process of elimination, aka POE. If you're having trouble identifying an error or a correction, look at the differences in the choices. So sometimes when you go to the choices and you see, oh, look, this question, these choices are all changing the form of the verb, that might indicate to you that it's a tense error or subject-verb agreement error. Maybe they're adding in dashes or removing dashes. Maybe then it's some sort of punctuation error. So when you go to the choices and see what they're changing, it might help you determine what the original error was, if any. If any questions seem general, leave them until the end. So if, as we'll see when we go through the passages, there will be questions that say, like in the context of the passage or something like that. And those are questions where if I've just started reading the passage, I don't really want to answer those yet. So I will circle them, come back to them after I've finished all the other questions associated with that passage. By that time, I would have answered, I would have read through the whole passage in order to answer those questions. So I'll be much more comfortable and equipped to answer a more general question. Any time that you have left, so after finishing all the questions of the test, go back to any questions you've circled, either for further review or ones that you skipped. And then once you've done that, just check your answers. Really go through as many of the questions as you can to verify and make sure you haven't made any avoidable errors. So that's the core strategy. In the next video, we're going to talk about specific little additional strategies that can help you. And all these strategies, core strategies, additional strategies, I will be showing you in the videos to follow. But let's at least get a sense of what we can do before we go into the specifics.